What if I told you that changing one little word in what you say probably a gajillion times every day will completely change your life? We are diving into that today, but I do have to put a warning out there. Charlie is the fun police in this department of this topic and nearly drove me into bankruptcy last week. Let's dive into that. Hey everybody, we are already smiling in this Kristin and Charlie chat as we are going through this topic of changing your, just that one little word that we're going to talk about today. It changes your language, changes your mindset, changes your outcomes, changes everything. But it nearly cost me my entire Venmo account last week because, as we say in these chats all the time, Charlie and I hold each other accountable for things. And today we are talking about a mindset of gratitude versus a mindset of, oh my God, I have to do all of these things. Charlie is going to make his case, and believe me, he was making this case for 2 weeks and I didn't believe him until he converted me as I was going to have to owe him a lot of money. This case of switching from saying I have to do this to I get to do this literally was the game changer in my life, especially the past couple of weeks. All right, Charlie, Mr. Fun Police, that charges me every time I make statements of I have to. Let's dive into this.
Well, we made an agreement, and you didn't have to make that agreement. You chose to. And the agreement was, Kristin, every time I hear you say I have to, it's $20. You're like, oh, okay, I don't say it that much. Oh, $100, $200. And as we take a look at this, okay, so it just flows, and I really don't mean it. I don't have to go and get gas to the car. I'm choosing to go fill up the car because I need it to go do other things in life. But when these things start piling up on us, so there was a time I was getting up in the morning thinking, I have to get up early because I have to have a meeting at work early. I have to be there before my employees when I had my company because that looks good. I have to make sure I do this. I have to make these 5 calls today. Oh, I have to hit a certain number to keep the business open. Then I have to have lunch. I mean, it was unbelievable how much I have to do each day. And it grew and grew and grew, and I could not get all the have-tos done. And I started feeling more like a victim. Like, I can't manage this stuff. And I have to take this call. I have to help this customer. I have to do this. And it's like, what is going on? Why do I think I have to do everything? Because I wasn't in control of my day. I wasn't waking up, taking the calendar, looking at these hours ahead and choosing to put in the things that I'm blessed, that I can do, that I am willing to do, and that'll help move me, the company, and those I am helping forward. So that's where this all started. I was sitting in a conference, and the conference leader started talking about have to, should, shouldn't, coulda, woulda, that type of language. Yeah. And I'm like, ooh, okay, well, I guess I have to sit here. And so he brought someone up on stage, and they started talking about, okay, so, if there's a gun to your head, and, it was just, the way he did it was like, I have to do this. Do you? Do you really? Or are you choosing to do it? Because once you break that down, Kristin, like you said, you were like, but, oh yeah, oh, you're right. And it's not, I'm right, it's right, that's right. That I find myself saying it still sometimes. Then I stop and I go, no, I don't. Nobody outside of me who, I asked my daughter and I said, what do you have to do today? And she started looking at me and I said, really? what do you choose to do today? What are you feeling grateful about doing today? What decisions and choices do you know in front of you today that are going to help you and help others? You know, that's what has helped shift me from a mind of have to a mind of I get to.
You know what? I actually did this with my daughter this weekend because Chris and we're recording this at the end of the Labor Day weekend, and we had a 3-day weekend, and you know, Michael now lives in Florida, Mitchell's back at school. It was just the two of us. We had all these plans, and we were shoe shopping, and it's her birthday. We were getting a lot of stuff done, and I have a lot going on with work. So I said to her, I knew that I hadn't seen my parents in a couple of weeks, and I thought, wow, we have a rare long weekend that we can go. They live about 25 minutes away, but then things started piling up that I was getting to do a lot of stuff for work, and the weekend was starting to get crunched. So Carissa said to me on Sunday night, are we going to see Granny and Pop tomorrow? And I said, let's see how we feel in the morning, if the day is going to have time to do that. And then in the morning, I was sitting there thinking, I have to, if we leave by 2, but I have to do this, and then I have to, and I thought, wait. I started looking at it as, you know, my dad had 2 strokes during COVID and heart surgery. He almost wasn't even with us anymore, right? So I was like, I get to visit him whenever I want. I get to have conversations with him whenever I want. I get to live only 25 minutes from my parents who have moved into this gorgeous little community that is perfect for them. So I switched my whole way of thinking about that. I get to go and hang out with them. So Carissa comes in, and now of course I had about a pot and a half of coffee by the time she wakes up, and she comes in and she says, so what are we doing? Because she's a planner, and she likes to have her schedule ahead of her so she knows what she gets to do all day. And she said, what are your thoughts on going to Granny and Papa's? Well, I was like, we get to go hang out with them, and we get to bring the dogs. And she was like, what happened to you? But it flipped her mindset too, because she was also thinking she has a lot of homework over the weekend and a lot of these things. So then we sat and made a plan about all the things that we get to do that day and how we were going to fit the different things in. And it ended up to being one of the most fun days ever, when at the end of the day, I was sitting there, I even cleaned out and reorganized my closet, got all this stuff done. And I thought, wow, that would have gone completely differently if I would have had the mindset of, now I have to go see my parents and I have to do this cleaning, and we have all these kids coming tomorrow for the birthday. I have to do all this. I never would have gotten all of it done, nor would we have had so much fun if we were doing well, now we got to do this and we got to do this.
That's a good revelation or realization that the have to mind kind of starts piling on other problems. It sees what's wrong. Now, I have to go visit my parents. Now, of course, I have to be stuck behind a slow driver because I'm behind visiting when I wanted to leave, but I had to do something else first that made me leave late. Now I've got to rush because I told my parents, do you see where I'm going with this? Then I storm in the door and it's like, hi, parents. Hurry up. I'm visiting you, and I have to leave at 3 p.m. You know, it's like you walk in the door and you let everyone know when I have to leave, just so you know, and I'm so happy to be here.
Wait, there was the slowest driver in front of us. And because we were in this not goofy mindset, but this more fun mindset we laughed. We literally laughed. This guy, he turned 2 turns before my parents' house. People, 23 minutes. We were behind. We were like, oh, maybe he's going to the mall. Nope. Maybe he's going to Dunkin' Donuts. Nope. It was the fun. Look, if I would have gone about it in a different mindset, Charlie, I would have turned off that road. I don't know what I would have done. I would have been honking, but I can't believe you just said that, a slow driver. That's exactly what happened. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, he went to the auto body place right near my parents' house.
And there's another realization, I would not have been able to, that would have really, I would have blamed and said, see, this always happens to me. When we live in the have to mind, we're like a Ferrari in first gear at red line going through the day. We're exhausted by the end of the day. We thought we were going to have a nice dinner, but we're too darn tired. Now we're going to order out. Then we're going to get that slop in. We're going to eat it fast. Maybe some turn to a beer or wine, because even though they told them, well, I'm not going to do that, but now I have to have wine because I'm freaking out. So I'm going to have some of that now. And I told myself I wasn't going to watch crap TV that night, but now I am, and I don't believe this is happening to me. Mm-hmm. And then I find out that, oh wait, I created all of that.
Yeah.
And that's what the goal of this is. It's not that I'm a bad person. I'm just off course. I'm looking at life as a person that has to accomplish so much in order to get so little. What is wrong with this picture? It's because I have to. I have this mindset that triggers these emotions and trains of thoughts and like uncertainty and circumstances that I didn't know was going to happen, and which elevates more frustration and more blaming and complaining and finger pointing. And it becomes, and then I break down. I'm not able to follow through on this way I thought I wanted to live my life today because I have to do so much.
Well, it also, looking at this whole change of language to change your mindset and change your experiences and outcomes, I realized I sit and think, like, for example, on Monday, one of the things Chris and I were talking about doing was getting the dog's nails trimmed. And we found a walk-in place. And then as we were looking at our day on Monday, it was like, oh, but we have to get their nails trimmed. We said we were going to. And then I said to Carissa, as we were trying to fit everything in and not be so stressed out in all of the have-tos, I said, what can we take off the list? What do we not have to do today? We don't have to go and get their nails trimmed. We can do that next weekend. We have the whole next Saturday with no basketball or anything. I said, we can put it on the schedule for next Saturday. We don't have to do that today. And she was like, okay, we get to do it next weekend. Although I will say, our little dog, Daisy, the dogs get extremely excited to go for a ride in the Jeep. And Daisy was so excited. She was sitting on Carissa's lap and she jumps up to like look out the window and stuff. So Carissa looks at me and she goes, well, Mom, maybe we did have to go and get those nails trimmed. She had all little scratches on her legs from Daisy. I said, no, Carissa, we get to do it next Saturday. Wear pants next time.
Yeah, right. Yes, that is funny.
But yeah, Daisy and Sassy love when they get to ride in the Jeep. But it did end up to be super fun. But just changing that language. And I don't know, I guess it's something with your brain, Charlie, where you realize and you start to come in and focus as opposed to going through the day so numb, like so many of us tend to do. And you just give it a 30-second thought of, do I really have to do this? Or do I get to do this? Or is this something I can take off my list? Because who cares anyway? Why are we overscheduling ourselves, right? That's a whole nother lane we can go down in another chat.
When I get up in the morning, I spend quiet time, and I think about the 24 hours ahead. I look at my calendar. Is this correct for today? Like, I get to have a call with this person. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. How can I show up prepared? What in this day can I remove if I need to? Did I overbook? So I think that's where it all, when I step into my day I used to wake up in the morning and just my feet would hit the pavement or the carpet. I didn't sleep outside much, but on the side of the street. That's another story. But anyway, and I would go and rush rush out the door and start my day. I don't do that anymore because that built up a lot of have-tos. That built up, I felt sorry for myself, or the victim mentality. It's like, so, life best lived is life by design. And the weight of a day on my shoulders, like everywhere I look, like that, oh God, I have to take the garbage, I have to pick that box up. Oh, all of a sudden everything becomes a problem in my life and I have to fix it all. And it's like, that is not the truth. That's just me, that Ferrari in first gear, redlining out and exhausting myself by the end of the day. I'll tell you, Kristin, I'm just going to share this quick. I have a list of things I want to do, or improve the house, the closets, and over time, not today, not immediately, not because I had the thought, now I got to go do it. No, it's mapped out over time. And I started, and down in my basement, I have 2 closets on each side of the heating air conditioning system, and they're beautiful storage areas. Well, I went into the left side, not both, just one side. Progress, because I used to have to do it all. And I get very frustrated because I was running behind and I can't come to dinner. I have to get this done. I'm not that guy anymore. And I went in and I removed everything and I vacuumed and I pulled the basement window and I cleaned it. And I oiled it and I pulled everything, did the floor, every cobweb, and dusted and then got rid of some things, put it all back, organized it. You know what I did this morning, Kristin? Because I chose to take the hour and a half, work in that space. I got up this morning, I went down into that room and stood there for a minute. And I said, how good does this feel? Isn't that amazing? I chose to do something. I didn't have to do it. I chose to. I followed through. And I went to bed feeling good about that accomplishment and some others throughout that day. But that was my biggest one yesterday. And I got up this morning and it still was in me. It resonated. I went down and I stood in that room for a minute. And, nobody caught me. Like, what are you doing in the closet in the basement? I'm enjoying the success of paying the price to choose to do something that's the door's going to get closed. Now, none of my friends or family are coming over to see that room. No one's going to know as they pass through my house that one room is immaculate right now. But I do.
And boy, is your future self and your family members going to thank you when you're looking for something and you can go right in there and find it and not have to waste hours and hours trying to sort through everything. That's so funny. You just did a closet too, because I did the one in my bedroom. I gotta tell you, I did the same thing this morning, Charlie. I opened up my 2 big closet doors and looked at all of the sweaters are ready, all the boots are lined up. I'm a little excited for the fall temperatures coming. And it was the same thing. I said, oh, wow, 2 bags of clothes out that we're going to go donate. It something I chose to do. I had the time to do it because I took other stuff off of my list yesterday. And I even got us all set up for get to have 48 soccer players at my house today. That fits about 10 soccer players in this little house for Carissa's birthday. But yeah, looking at, you said the word shift. When you shift your mind, and I'm very anxious to have people that or excited to have people that are watching and listening to this, drop in the comments after you've listened to this and have a few days of thinking about this mindset shift in just these little words, switching from have to choose to get to, what that is opening up in your life. And if you want some accountability, put that in the comments and Charlie will be happy to swap Venmo with you and charge you for not changing your language.
No, Kristin, let me just say, all you need to do is ask somebody in your household or somebody close to you that you're around a lot and say, would you do me a favor? If you hear me say have to, will you just go, rah, or do something that disrupts me so I say, what? You did it again. And that'll help you, self-realization, bring more awareness, and that's what helps with the change. Kristin and I, as we were newly working this together, she would start, and I'd go, $20, and she'd be like, totally disrupt, but didn't that help?
Oh my gosh, it helped tremendously because, to be perfectly honest, I didn't even know I was doing it. I didn't even hear it coming out of my mouth. So what does that tell you? I didn't realize it was deep seated there in my brain, and really my subconscious was driving me in a direction of not being as productive and towards success as I wanted to be. I was completely working against myself and didn't even realize it was happening. That's how my mind was so blown by that whole thing with just changing those words. Wild.
And now we get to bring this KNC chat to an end, and you get to bring us out,
Hey,
right?
and everyone watching and listening gets to click subscribe and the notification button so that you get to see more and more of our videos that come out every week. But in all seriousness, you also get to consider who in your life and your work would benefit from this conversation, and share it with them. And then it would be fun to have that conversation with them as a follow-up. Hey, do you want to be an accountability partner? Do you want to make sure that we're using the right language? But thank you so much for tuning in to us here today on the Successability channel. We get to put this as a priority every week to have these conversations, and we're glad that it's reaching you. We'll see you next time.